To you, all my youthful colleagues and fellows, to you, all my parents and our parents, caregivers, counselors, and guardians, to you, my amiable director principal, vice principals, and staffers of our various institutions, to you, our leaders, governors, senators, legislators, and administrators of our social, political, and economic order, to you, my global world neighbors, businessmen and women, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ibakama Chimnemeh Emanuela, the visionary founder and coordinator of the Chimnemeh Moral Youth Transformative League International, a moral literacy league inspired and passionately dedicated in using written and spoken essays, speeches, readings, poetries, dramas, and simulations in guiding, transforming, and reforming the moral, character, and values of our entire students, youths, and adult population. I am also a proud and bold student of Federal Government Girls College, Ibuzo, Delta State, Nigeria, and an active, proud, and bold member of my school's Student Pathfinders Club and School Media Experience Center Club, and most importantly, a bona fide, proud, and bold out-of-school candidate of Free United Nations Human Rights Education and Advocacy Training Project Nigeria, a human rights capacity building and life coaching project officially organized, managed, and maintained in Nigeria by Ethics and Moral Social Justice Foundation International, a moral socialization and conscience development foundation passionately dedicated in using human rights functional literacy skills and aptitude as a powerful motivation and narrative to teaching the three overlapping components of moral literacy, which are the moral knowing, which is the cognitive learning, also known as the habit of the mind, the moral doing, the moral feeling, which is the emotional learning, also known as habit of the heart, and the moral doing, which is the attitude learning, also known as habit of conduct and behavior, and the three overlapping components of good character, which is knowing the good, which is habit of the mind, desiring the good, which is the habit of the heart, and doing the good, which is the habit of conduct and behavior. I am inspired hence and consequently obliged to use this my in-depth, painstaking, self-conscious, intelligent, long-term, sacrificing, direct, practical, moral, character, and values development education initiative to expose my astute observations on the root cause of our every social, political, economic, cultural, and religious dislocations and disorientations. My profound great minds and conscientious comrades, it is of my greatest disposition that the root cause of our every political and social disorder and disorientations, as unconnected as it seems, is one and only almighty functional illiteracy. For more practical clarification, I have also objectively deduced beyond a shadow of doubt that illiteracy is a compound word encompassing in nature, which comprises of all spheres of realities, in which includes social, political, cultural, economic, religious, scientific, artistic, technological, hygienic, and linguistic functional illiteracy. Functional illiteracy is used of a person who is ignorant of the fundamentals of a particular act or skill or area of knowledge. It is also used to describe and address a person who falls short of some standard of competence regarding some skills or body of information. Therefore, my erudite fellows and great minds, and in this broader meaning and perspective shift, any person who falls short of our commonly expected standard of competence in social, hygienic, and interactive living is automatically an illiterate and an ignorant person, even if he or she is quite competent in language and mathematical skills. Fellow great minds, the objective truth needs to be told. Therefore, my all youthful colleagues and fellows, my parents and our parents, teachers, guardian counselors and instructors, my all amiable director, principal, and vice principals, our leaders, governors, senators, legislators, presidents, vice presidents, and administrators of our social, political, and economic order, my global world neighbors, businessmen and women, ladies and gentlemen, let us all be adequately proficient in hygienic functional literacy, of which the Christian Bible scholarly underscore and United Nations organization amplified through its various means of state intervention, such as WHO, which is World Health Organization, UNICEF, which is United Nations International Children's Education Fund, and also our Nigerian Center for Disease Control Department of our Republic of Nigeria. Let us be proactive. Let us be outreach and engage in order to sail through this turbulent ocean strait of COVID-19 pandemic. As a human rights literate and compliant student and youth, living and studying in a society of which COVID-19 pandemic take many destructive disguised forms and is posing a great social, political, cultural, and economic threat, and born out of my United Nations human rights literacy, I have chosen to align with my heart to take a small, direct, instructive step in creating and sustaining a society of free COVID-19 pandemic by being bold to be a positive bystander against all forms of hygienic functional illiteracy in my school environment, in my wider community, and in my state at large. Through this my brief scholarly discovery and expo on human rights based approach to health and sustainable development for all. A positive bystander is an ethical conscientious individual who witness unkind, harmful, dangerous, abusive, and life-threatening situations and choose to intervene to help prevent the problem from continuing or escalating. A positive bystander model promotes the idea that everyone in our society has a role to play in preventing our schools, families, workplaces, churches, marketplaces, our social interactive gatherings, starting from our social realities, laden with a monotonous threat of COVID-19 pandemic, especially in this present challenge of relaxation of lockdown. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights Article 25 declared that everyone have the right to a standard of living adequate in good health and well-being of himself and that of his family, which even including food, housing, clothing, medical care, and other necessary social services. We all have the responsibility as an ethical, conscientious citizen to be adequately proficient in hygienic functional literacy, be proactive, outreach, and engage against this COVID-19 pandemic and other health hazard issues for that matter. For as long as we sit back in non-compliance and acquiescence, whether out of fear or functional illiteracy, we will all be victims at the end. Raphael Waldo Emerson cautioned that if you think your silence in some certain topics, perhaps in the face of unkindness, mean-spiritedness, injustice, etc., could cause others to reserve the judgment of you, far otherwise, your action utters so loudly to men that you have no oracle to speak, no wisdom to offer, and your fellow men have understood that you cannot help them. Doth not wisdom cry out, and understanding put forth her voice? We shall be well if we do likewise. Confucius observed, discovered, and exposed that seeing what is right and not doing it is want of courage. Gandalf also observed, discovered, and exposed that people say it is great power that holds evil in check, but that is not what I have found. It is the day-to-day deeds of everyday folks that keeps the darkness at bay, which is some act of kindness and love. And finally, Margaret Mead observed, discovered, and asserted that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change this world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So therefore, come one, come all, let us morally transform, reform, recreate, restore, renew, and rebrand our schools, communities, states, countries, and our world through the power, bliss, coherence, total knowledge, understanding, and application of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which consists of 30 universal articles accepted by the universal intelligent conscience, and application of hygienic, environmental, and social health education, of which the Christian Bible scholarly underscored and the United Nations Organization amplified through its various instruments of state intervention. Quality hygiene and good health education is the most essential to complete and complement the Sustainable Development Goal 2030 agenda. Be adequately educated, be proactive, outreach, and engage. Thank you all, and thank you all very much. One love, peace, and justice for all.